Good morning. Thank y'all for attending today. I just want to introduce our speaker. We're very proud to have Jennifer Roberts. She's the owner of Backporch Communications, a marketing, public relations, and communication company. Helps small businesses and nonprofits. She helps create strategies to attract their ideal clients, increase their income, and of course make a bigger impact on the world. We're very pleased to introduce you with over 20 years of experience. So if you want to give her a round of applause.
Thank you all for your time and attention today. I can talk about marketing and public relations and personal branding. Thank you so much, Dee, for a long time. So an hour just doesn't quite seem like enough sometimes, but I'm hoping to give you guys a little bit of a flavor of what marketing and public relations is, because I firmly believe no matter what your industry is, it's become more and more critical to have a personal brand. And I think as you embark on the world of cosmetology, there's no industry that I can think of that is more true for trying to attract clients to buy your services. I think that's really important. I wanted to get a little bit of a feel for where you guys are at. Can you kind of give me an idea? And I would love for this to be interactive. Like, you don't have to, it's not meant to be a lecture. If you guys have, how far are you from getting into the working world? How much time do you have left here in school?
Some of us only have about 4 months.
4 months before you're...
Like the front part of this group only has a few more months, and the back half is new, I think, like level 2.
Yeah, we'll be done in December.
Okay. And help me understand, what kinds of things in the world of cosmetology are you hoping to get out there and do? What's anybody yell out, what's going to light you on fire? Hair, okay. Skincare.
Making money.
Making money, okay, that's good. That's important, right? It doesn't work if you don't make money.
We came here to just make friends.
Anything else?
Permanent makeup.
Permanent makeup. Okay, awesome.
Styling for events. Business owner.
Business owner, styling for events. Okay, great. I love the diversity in your answers, because we're going to talk about why your personal brand is so important, and thinking of those different things. You're all here studying cosmetology, but you're all going to go into the workforce and have your own little niche of what you do that's different from anyone in this room. And that's what a personal brand is about. So let me get started here, and I'll just tell you a little bit about myself and what I do beyond what Dee said. I've worked for 20 years in journalism, marketing, public relations, and communications. I started my career as a television journalist, did that for a decade, and then left that to go into public relations and marketing and communications at Advent Health. It was Florida Hospital at the time, but I worked on their Orlando campus and did a lot of that work there for them. I left that about 2 years ago to start my own business. It was a unique journey, but I do what I love, and that's really helping people create plans and strategies for marketing, public relations, and communications. So I love making the plan. There are a lot of people in my industry that do the work. They build the website, they post the social media, they create the ads, right? There's a lot of that out there. My passion is coming up with ideas and helping people develop plans so they can go out and do that. A lot of times small businesses and nonprofits and solopreneurs and people that are developing a personal brand don't have the funds to be able to hire somebody to do all of those things for them. You see that in bigger organizations, but not in smaller ones. And so that's what I come in and help people do. I love to help people increase their income, because that's what marketing is supposed to do, or donations if we're talking about nonprofits. I love to help people work with clients they love. I hear stories often of people that either leave the corporate environment or start their own business, and they get all these clients, but they're still not fulfilled with work that they love. They might not be doing the right thing or working with the right people. And so that's critically important too. And really making a bigger impact in the world. So I wanted to talk for a little bit about being excited about selling what you do. Sales for a lot of people is an ugly word. I get this image in my head of the used car salesman, right? That's screaming at the top of their lungs, buy this, come now, hurry up. You know, it's so critical that he's trying to make a sale right now. And there's nothing more that turns me off from buying than that approach. I work with a lot of female entrepreneurs, and I've found even with the men that I work with, this holds true as well. It's hard to promote yourself. I would like you to raise your hand if you love talking about what you do on social media. Do you love it? Okay, great. Do you still love it when no one likes your post? Do you still love it when you have to go out and talk to your friends and your family and everyone you meet about what you do and promote yourself? You do love it? That's awesome, because there are people that do. There are people that do that. Are you going to love it when you have to go ask people for a chance to be their stylist or help them with personal makeup or put yourself out there? Because there are born salespeople that are born to do that, and that lights them on fire. And then there's the rest of us who still want to do business too, right? I find it a lot of times people think that it's hard to promote themselves. I have this problem. I don't ever want to come off as being too salesy, right? I don't want to sound like the used car salesman. I don't want to push everything on my friends and family. It doesn't feel good to me. A lot of people I hear, they don't want to come off as bragging about what they do, right? I don't want to be boastful. And I'm so great at this, and I've been doing it for so long, and it just doesn't feel genuine sometimes. Sometimes I don't like to be around the person that's always talking about their business, that's always pushing what they're doing. This is my next big thing. This is where I'm going. And they don't have anything else they want to talk about. People can get tired of that, and they don't want to hear that pitch any longer. So what I like to talk to, and when I help clients with brand and just getting comfortable in their skin with promoting themselves, we work through that because it's really all in our head. It's really all in how we approach the situation. So I put before you two definitions of marketing. Promoting and selling products or services, which is a definition that if you looked it up in the dictionary, you'd get something similar to that, right? Basic definition of marketing. Another definition might be building a relationship with people who are struggling with a problem that you solve. Raise your hand. Tell me if you like definition one the best. A couple? What about two?
Yeah, that's good too.
I love two. Two puts me in my comfort zone, right? It doesn't feel like it's just a transaction. I'm building a relationship with people. And so I think that for me, I look for ways to help my clients and in my own business as well, build relationships with customers. Oh, and wouldn't it be great if the people that we're building those relationships with are people that actually want to buy what we're selling? Boy, doesn't that take the salesy, like, creepy crawly off of the back of your neck? It does for me. If I know I'm talking to an audience who needs what I have, boy, doesn't that feel good. So I wanted to just take a moment. We're going to talk about that some more. But I wanted to take a moment and talk a little bit about what I believe is the best approach to really creating a personal brand, because personal brand and marketing and PR they're all almost the same thing. I'm going to talk about some of the differences in a second, but if you're creating a personal brand, you're doing marketing for yourself. That's really the bottom line. I help clients do a holistic approach. I really believe strongly that marketing and public relations and communications all work together. The big difference between these different disciplines are who we're talking to. That's really it. Marketing, we're talking to our potential clients or customers. And public relations, we're talking to the community, whether that is an online community, whether that is your geographic local community, whether that is a group of people on social media who love, who want to learn more about permanent makeup. That's a community. And then communications. So I'm not going to focus a whole lot on that, but just to say out there that communications is what we do inside our organizations to talk to employees or to our leaders, that two-way communication. So it's really important that we engage with our teams. I know many of you are not going to have a team, right, when you leave here. It's going to be you in the world. But maybe someday that is a reality for you. And I do help businesses with that too. But it is a trifecta. So if you're going to be out and creating a personal brand or you're going to be working for yourself, that's not something that I'm not going to spend a lot of time focusing on that. What I hear a lot from people is that I want to get better at social media. I want to have a better website. I need to get some publicity. I need to advertise. And those are all great things. They're all important things. And that might be true for you and your business, but it's really important to be strategic about how you're going about it and not just picking a tactic and saying, gosh, wouldn't it be great if I went with that? And I'll explain why as we go along. Building a strategy and a plan needs to encompass all of the things, especially for where we're talking today, the public relations and the marketing part, which is really where we're going to focus on that personal brand. So talking a little bit about what the differences are for some of these, people in the industry that I work in get confused by this. So it's no shock that small business owners, entrepreneurs, and nonprofits get really confused by this too. I'm going to walk through it a little bit at a high level. But marketing, remember I talked about it's about clients. Those are the conversations that we're going to do to make a transaction with someone. And we're going to exchange goods and services, right? So advertising is a form of marketing. Advertising can be a radio ad, an ad in a newspaper, an ad on a bus, an ad on a billboard, an ad on social media. All of that encompasses advertising where you're paying money to put your face and your business, whatever that looks like, out into the world. You're paying somebody to reach an audience. And then of course there's digital. Marketing, that can be websites, it can be social, it can also be search engine optimization to try and make your website stand out more than the next guys that might be doing something that you're doing. But really building relationships with those clients and potential clients is the key piece that I focus on a lot, especially with personal branding. We'll talk about that more in just a moment. In public relations, in our community, whatever that word community means to you, I like to help people think about how they become a thought leader in your industry. We'll talk about what that is in the next couple of slides. But looking for ways for a third-party endorsement. That could be like, let's say, for example, you were interviewed on someone's podcast or in someone's blog or in a media outlet, if we want to go to that level. So that's somebody interviewing you, and you are the expert, right? You are being positioned as the expert, and then you could do something with that audio or video or blog. You can share it, you can put it on your web, you could do all kinds of different things with that, right? So that's kind of what I mean by third-party endorsement. Education. People love to learn more about topics that they're interested in. I will give you an example from my own business, and then we'll think about this in your industry. So I run a Facebook group, and every week I go into that Facebook group. I do live video. I do a live video every week and talk about something to give tips and tricks to my group for free. I educate people. I talk about the same things that I'm talking to you about to that group because I want to be an expert in their eyes. How can you do that in your industry? Can you be an expert in your community or your client's eyes? Yes?
Like for that, like would it be like if someone were to describe the steps that they take like while they're doing their work?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So in a personal brand, I talked about the diversity of ideas of what you guys are passionate about and what you want to go out into the world and do. Those are the things you want to talk about. You want to learn more, and I'm going to talk about this in a second, but to kind of expand upon your thought, we can talk about the things that our client wants to know. How many people do you think have questions? I'm going to use permanent makeup, whoever yelled that out. I've not done it. I'm intrigued about it. I don't really know anything about it. Would I watch a 3-minute video on YouTube if I came across that about permanent makeup? Maybe. Sure. And if you're the one that's giving that video, what do I then think about you and permanent makeup? I think you know what you're talking about. Because I just spent 3 minutes listening to you be the expert about that topic. And so I find education to be very powerful in looking for ways. It not only shows that you know what you're talking about, but you're passionate about it too. And that shines through, right? And giving back. Public relations and community, always looking for ways to give back, whether that's a donation of your time in some way, a donation of your money. I know there are, my own person that cuts my hair does volunteers her time at her church to cut the hair of people that are homeless in our community. So I think there are always opportunities that we should be looking to pay it forward if we're truly passionate about what we do. And then communication with employees, again, I'm not going to spend much time here because I don't think it's as applicable to what you guys are going. I don't want to spend a lot of time there, but making sure our teams understand that we have a clear vision, that the leaders are talking to the staff and the staff are talking to the leaders and what that loop looks like. And then focusing on customer service and making sure our teams understand clearly what it means to serve our customers. A lot of people that I work with get caught up in what do I say? They think they want to do social media, but they have no idea what to say. These are some of the opportunities that I think everyone, if you're creating a personal brand, can think through. Focusing on your ideal client or your audience. If you love doing permanent makeup, do you think your ideal client's going to be a man? No, probably not. Maybe, probably not. Do you think that your ideal client is going to be, and I'm going out on a limb here, you guys know more about your audience than I do. Do you think your ideal client is going to be someone who has a certain threshold of income to be able to afford something like that?
No.
Okay, right. So if you could pay to put an ad on a bus, is that a good use of your time and your money to promote permanent makeup? Maybe. It could be. But there might be other ways that are less expensive and will speak directly to the people that you are trying to reach instead of getting such a broad audience. So, knowing your ideal client, demographics are crucially important. Men, women, age bracket, how much income they make, right? If you're going to offer someone a $100 haircut, you might not be able to go after people that live paycheck to paycheck, right? It might not be the scope. It might be. But the key to what I work a lot with people on is understanding who their ideal client is intimately. What pain points do they have? What frustrations do they have in life as it relates to what you offer? When I work with businesses, a lot of times they have spent money on advertising or they've hired a social media expert and it hasn't really worked out for them very well. And so they're searching for what the right answer is. I know that about my ideal client. You need to know similar things about the people that you plan to serve, where they are, where they like to hang out. There's a whole list of questions. And you can do this by asking the people that you serve. So if you have somebody who loves the way you color, the way you cut, the whatever, that is that perfect fit for you and what you do, and thinks you're just fabulous and you love working with them and they love paying you, then that's probably your ideal client. Interview them. Ask them some questions about their life, their pain point, how they found you, what they love about what you do. Because that's going to lead you to this box over here, clear, simple messages. You want to take the person that loves what you do and duplicate what they think and share that with other people, because then you're going to attract more people like that. That's the goal. In the marketing that I teach, I like to attract these ideal clients and, quite frankly, repel everybody else. And some people, like business owners, look at me like, you want to repel clients? Yes, I do. Because I don't need to spend time, money, and effort targeting people who are not the right fit. Then I end up feeling that salesy, arm-twisting thing. People are like, I don't really see the value. I don't have the money for this. This is not feeling the right fit for me. I don't want to convince those people to work with me. I want to work with the people over here who just love what I do. It makes it really easy to not feel that salesy, icky feeling when we do that. You can take messages from those ideal clients and use them on others. Consistent. Whew. I know, I've been there, and you may have as well. When you post things on social media, nobody likes it, nobody shares it, nobody comments about it. You're like, this is not working. This is not working for me. I'm spinning my wheels and it's not working. I would argue that consistency works. Weekly posting, whatever, and whatever platform works for you, right? Well, whatever platform works for your ideal client is really where you should be at. But consistency is hugely important. Showing up for people that follow you, thinking about what they need, talking to them in language and giving them education on what you do consistently, hugely important. And then finally, your brand story. Why are you unique? What do you bring to the table? What inspires you to do what you do? Because I love a good story, and I will buy from people because of their story. I have to need what they're offering, but inspiration surely helps me pick you over somebody else. I tell this story a lot, and I didn't think I was going to share it today, but I have a brand story that I love. About, 7 years ago or so, my kids are now I've got one almost a teenager and one that is a teenager, is 14. When they were much younger, at Christmas time, they loved the blow-up inflatable Santa and reindeer and all that stuff in the yard. Personally, that was never my jam. Never really loved that stuff. I was more of the simple nativity. Well, finally, our last inflatable got a hole, bit the dust, and I decided there's no more. No more inflatables coming into my household. It's my turn. My kids are old enough now. It's my turn to decorate how I want to decorate. So I was on the hunt for a really classy nativity scene that I wanted to put out in the yard. Searching online, I found this company, and I saw their website. Okay, on the front page of their website was a video, and it was called Our Story. And the story of this company, this video was probably shot on a phone or a very inexpensive camera. They had some voiceover over the top of it. And this company was a boat company, a marine manufacturing company. And they made, the cabinets and not the deck, but the cabinetry that you get on boats. That's like that white plastic. It's like on all boats. That's what they manufactured, marine grade plastic to go in boats. And during the holiday season, boat sales tanked. And so they were looking for a way to keep their staff, because every holiday they had to lay off, furlough staff because they weren't making any money. So they came up with an idea that they saw at a Christmas tree stand to make nativities out of marine grade plastic. They showed video of their manufacturing plant where they cut out the boat pieces and they flipped the programming in the machines that cut that out, and they cut out nativity scenes. And they packaged them up and they started selling like hotcakes. Then I found out this company is located about 45 minutes from here in Oviedo, Florida. You do not know how fast I whipped out my credit card and gave them $500 of nativity. I didn't search anymore. I didn't care. Because they told me a story about how I was going to help people have jobs when I bought their nativity. I bought into that big time. Your why is just as important. Why are you passionate about what you do? I have a handout that we can share with you guys at the end here today for you to take home and think about. I call it a storytelling interview. It's like 10 questions. And it dives into you as if someone was doing an interview with you about why you love what you're going to be doing in this industry. And really helping you uncover that, because that's all your brand story is. And then going to tell that to people that you encounter. I talked about thought leadership for a second. And there's a variety, I have this little pyramid here. There's a variety of different ways that you can be a thought leader in your industry. The bottom of the pyramid is create your own content. It's the simplest thing. Everybody's got a phone. You make a video, post it. If you want to write a blog, social media, if you like a podcast, whatever your thing is. Have you guys, there's millions of makeup videos out there. Why does and just because there's millions doesn't mean someone's not going to be interested in yours. How many people wear makeup in the world? Half the population or more, right? Creating your own content. The other way you can kind of go up the pyramid is working with content creators. So if you want to be interviewed by someone that writes a blog about cosmetology, or is a local person that talks about permanent makeup or different, I don't know, the latest technique and style and trend and whatever, and you want to be a part of that, that makes you look like an expert. And then to the top, that's like media interviews. That's like the highest level. And there comes some risk with doing things like that. But really, these bottom tiers are really a great way to be seen as an expert in your industry. We talked about education and trends, great ways to create content. What you really are trying to do is build a relationship with your client. You want them to know, like, and trust you. When someone knows, likes, and trusts you, they will buy from you. That's huge. The other thing I would encourage is client testimonials. Show me what you've done. Take a picture of everything you can of your work to share with others. In addition, even a social media post about a quote that someone said about how they felt after they worked with you. I felt like $1 million. My hair was so shiny. It was so blah, 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 whatever the thing was. And you have to ask them that, because people don't automatically offer that up all the time. You have to ask them about that. How do they feel about it? In my opinion, these types of activities are far more a productive use of your creating a personal brand. And quite frankly, they're far less expensive than advertising. So with that being said, I wanted to make sure that I left time for any questions that you might have about branding, about any of the stuff I've talked about, or if I haven't talked about it, I would definitely welcome any of that at this point. Okay, I did such a great job explaining it all.
Give us a couple of days, we'll warm up.
Yeah. Very good, very good. Well, I certainly, if you think of something, I don't know how much time left we have. It's only been about half an hour. I do have some free resources that I'm happy to offer to you. This is a QR code. I also have some business cards here if you all are interested in that. But as I mentioned, I do have a Facebook group. I do have a quiz that you can access through the QR code about how are your business relationships doing, and 25 tips on how to build them, with tips on how to build relationships with clients, tips on how to build relationships in the community, and also with employees. And this is my website here. I would invite you to take a look. I'm passionate about helping small business owners, entrepreneurs, and nonprofits with their marketing. It's what I love to do. It's what I've done for my career, and I hope anything, a little nugget of something, is helpful as you go on your journey and create a personal brand for yourself.
I have a question.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Social media.
Yes.
Should I have a private account for my business instead of like my personal account? Could you talk a little bit about that and what I should post? And
Absolutely. So private versus personal. I'll tell you what I do. I definitely have both accounts. I have a business account that focuses on the work that I do, but I don't not post about my business on my personal account. I do post personal stuff because part of getting started is letting your circle know what you're doing. It's not being, we do have to go out there. We do have to share the business card. We do have to talk about the things and getting our word out there in the community. So I think being cautious and smart about what you're posting on your personal social media account is good, but also knowing that your circle of friends likely might be some of your first referrals, some of your first contacts of people that you can use as testimonials, and start that process. I would think about using both, but I think you have to, use good common sense about what you're posting on your personal page as well. My personal pages are more for my family and friends and things like that. And you have to be cautious because, again, you are your brand. It's a personal brand for a reason. So if there's things that maybe aren't as appropriate for your business or for your audience that are happening on your personal page, maybe think of taking that elsewhere. So looking at that lens with what your social media accounts are and maximizing that. I definitely would think about how you post. I already talked about testimonials and photos, but just posting about what you do, what you love, what you're focused on. Industry tips. You could share an article, but even better is giving your take on what the article or the video says. What is it that makes you unique that's going to make you stand out from others that are doing the same thing next to you? Because I firmly believe there is enough business out there for all of us. It doesn't have to be a cutthroat industry of where I'm out to get this client and I don't want my neighbor to have them. There are billions of people in the world. There's enough for everyone. We can all be there and work together. But being unique is important.
Since most marketing is on social media. I was just thinking about how most marketing do on social media. Do you still think it's worth investing and putting effort and money into business cards? Is that still a good thing?
I would. I absolutely would, because and I'm sure if I had time to sit down and interview maybe some of your instructors or leaders or others that have gone into the industry. Actually, I did ask a few questions to my stylist who does my hair when she cut and colored my hair last week. She's been in this industry for 30 years. And that was her number one thing. She was like, get the business cards, give them to everyone. You do have to promote and talk yourself up. The reality is a lot of online is great, but it's going to reach people that are not here locally. You guys need local people, right? And so making sure you're making those local connections is critically important, I think, to establishing what you do. To give people the option that you are open for business, you are here, this is what you are good at. And so I think those things are really important to continue doing that, and the online presence. I don't think it's either or, I think there's a combo of both. But that's a great question. Even if you have the opportunity to, as you grow into this, maybe something that's a little bigger, even than a business card, like if you have something that could show some of your work too, that might be interesting. A lot of those types of things are relatively inexpensive to create. And so, I'm assuming that this community, and maybe you guys can help me, that has some opportunities to have I'm thinking like a show of some kind that focuses on beauty or wellness or those types of things.
Show every year.
Yeah. So thinking about that, to me, strategic, right? You're going to meet people there who are interested in the industry that you are involved in. The home show, maybe not so strategic, right? So it's just being conscious of that. And I really like to encourage clients that I work with, and I would encourage you the same. Many people that sell advertising will tell you that I am going to solve your problem. I am going to get you clients. I'm going to get you in front of all of these eyeballs. And they're not wrong. They are going to get you in front of a lot of eyeballs. But is it the eyeballs that you need? That's the question you need to ask yourself as you go out and look for opportunities to create that brand. So that's where I caution people, because advertising can be very costly. Social media advertising, I feel a little bit differently about. I think it's a lot less expensive, and you can really target it. You can geographically target it. If that's something there you want to go to or look for a particular niche. Another thing that I didn't talk about, and it just popped in my mind here, and I'll bring it up since I think we have a minute. Building relationships is part of that public relations category that I talked about. Who can you partner with? So I'm assuming many of you will go work in a salon. Are there other aspects in the beauty industry that you can partner with to advance yourself? I put that in the public relations bucket of building community. Networking with those individuals, remembering that there is enough business for all of us. These people are not your adversaries. They can be your advocates. Teresa Rand, who invited me and kind of helped me get connected to come do this today, our industries are similar, but we partner together in a variety of different ways to work together because some things that we do are complementary. I don't see her as my competitor. I see her as a person who can help me get to places that I couldn't get to on my own. And you all have that same opportunity by building relationships within your industry and reaching out to others to collaborate in some way. Even if it is just a simple, let's get together for coffee, what do I do, what do you do? Is there an opportunity for us to connect together? Are our services complementary in some way? Do your clients need what I have to offer as well? How can we work together? And so I find great value in those kinds of partnerships and looking for those opportunities, and would recommend that as a way to grow your circle and let more people know I'm out here to do business with folks that you do business with too. Any other thoughts, questions? No? Okay. Well, thank you guys very much for your time. I certainly appreciate it. I will leave some business cards here for you if you guys have an interest in picking those up. And would you like me to leave these here? I can maybe put them on the front as well, and as you finish your time here, you can pick one up as you head out the door. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate your attention and your great questions and input along the way. I wish you so much luck and prosperity in your career and what you do, and just be passionate about it. That will shine through for people. So thank you so much for your time.